Listen carefully, because the people around you are either building your empire or excavating your grave. By the end of this broadcast, you will possess the surgical precision required to amputate the dead weight of your social existence. If you commit to these principles until the final second, your life will transform into a fortress of focus. However, if you ignore them, you will remain a permanent hostage to other people's mediocrity. In the year 2025, the most expensive currency you own is not money, but your emotional bandwidth and your time. Welcome to a masterclass in quiet elimination. Growth is not merely about adding new skills or assets. It is fundamentally an exercise in subtraction. To reach the summit, you must drop the baggage that was never meant for the altitude you are climbing toward. The strongest move you will ever make is the silent exit, where you provide no explanations and leave no footprints. No drama, no final arguments, just an increasing distance that leaves the unworthy behind. We are entering an era where your circle must be a weapon, not a liability. Here are the 10 archetypes of people you must eliminate from your reality. The first shadow you must vanish is the constant critic. The person who views your life through a lens of perpetual deficiency. This individual does not merely observe flaws, they hunt for them with the precision of a predator. No matter how much effort you invest or how significant your achievement is, they will always find a way to offer a "yeah, but" statement. This subtle dismissal is designed to erode your confidence until you become as small as they perceive you to be. They disguise this negativity as honesty, claiming they are simply keeping you grounded or being real. In reality, they are architects of hesitation who thrive on making you second-guess your most natural instincts. Over time, their external voice becomes your internal dialogue, a virus that eats away at your ambition. You start editing your ideas before you even speak them. Fearing their inevitable dissection, real support does not involve tearing someone down every time they attempt to rise. To reclaim your power, you must stop seeking their validation and stop inviting them into your creative process. Limit their access to your world until their voice becomes a faint, irrelevant echo in the background. The second person to eliminate is the manipulator, the silent puppeteer who adjusts your reality without ever raising their voice. Their damage does not look like aggression. It looks like a slow, guided redirection of your own will. They are strategic, calculated, and often use your own kindness as leverage against you. At the beginning, they appear charming and supportive, but they are actually collecting data on your weaknesses and insecurities. They store this information to use as a weapon when you finally try to set a boundary. When you say no, they make you feel guilty. And when you express discomfort, they flip the narrative to make you the villain. Suddenly, you find yourself apologizing for things you never did wrong, purely to keep the peace. The manipulator does not argue to reach a mutual understanding. They argue to win and to maintain control. They use silence as a punishment and inconsistency as a hook to keep you chasing their approval. You must become unreactive and neutral, depriving them of the emotional energy they need to operate. Detach from them piece by piece until they no longer hold any influence over your psychological state. The third individual is the gossip carrier, the self-appointed messenger of secrets and private information. You can identify them the moment they lean in and whisper that you shouldn't tell anyone what they are about to say. This sentence is a profound warning sign about their lack of integrity and their obsession with social currency. They thrive on information not to understand the world, but to feel relevant and important within it. At first, it might feel like you are being trusted with inside information. But this is a dangerous illusion. If they are bringing you the secrets of others, you can be absolutely certain they are carrying your secrets to someone else. They trade in privacy and exploit relationships to stay involved in conversations where they were never meant to be. The danger lies in the cycle of broken trust that they normalize within your environment. Trust is not just about loyalty in your presence. It is about respect in your absence. And the gossip carrier has none. Shift your behavior by keeping your conversations with them strictly at the surface level. Reduce their access until they have nothing valuable to carry away. And watch as they naturally lose interest in you. The fourth type is the one who makes you doubt yourself. The quiet unraveler of your personal certainty. Before they entered your life, you were decisive and moved with a confidence that felt natural and grounded. Now, your mind is a theater of rehearsal, where you play back your thoughts 1,000 times before speaking. It starts with small, cautious questions that seem like genuine concern, but are actually seeds of doubt. They ask if you are sure about your decisions, or if a certain move really sounds like the old you. This consistency of questioning is what changes your internal chemistry, turning your certainty into a perpetual fog. They don't need to control you directly if they can make you question your own capacity for control. Often, they are projecting their own limitations and fears onto your boldness because your evolution makes them uncomfortable. The right people in your life will reinforce your beliefs and help you expand, rather than making you shrink. To stop this dependency, you must stop asking for their opinion and start trusting your first instinct again. Reclaim your mental independence by creating a massive amount of space between your vision and their skepticism. The fifth person is the comfort zone keeper. The friend who loves who you were, but fears who you are becoming. They are often familiar, safe, and have been in your life for many years, which makes them the hardest to leave. They don't attack your dreams with malice, but they normalize staying exactly the same. They act as an anchor, keeping you tied to a version of yourself that you have already outgrown. When you talk about leveling up, they respond with questions about why you want to change, or the classic phrase, "You've changed." That phrase is a signal that you are stepping outside the boundaries of the version of you that they find comfortable. They are used to the predictable you, the version that fits perfectly into their stagnant routine and their limited effort. When you raise your standards, it disrupts the equilibrium of the relationship and highlights their own lack of progress. They will try to pull you back into old habits, joking about your newfound discipline or calling you too serious. Remember that growth always feels uncomfortable to those who are determined to remain stationary. You don't need to explain your transformation. You simply need to prioritize your direction over their comfort. The sixth archetype is the excuse maker. The person who has mastered the art of justifying why they never fully try. Every time a goal is missed or a project fails, they have a perfectly packaged, emotionally convincing reason for it. They do not lack intelligence or opportunity. They simply lack the accountability required for true success. At first, you feel empathy for their circumstances, but eventually, you realize their excuses are not explanations. They are a mindset. This mindset is highly contagious, and if you stay near it long enough, you will begin to justify your own delays. The excuse maker gives you permission to not show up fully and makes it acceptable to avoid the discomfort of growth. They protect their ego by removing responsibility, but in doing so, they quietly steal your momentum as well. They will tell you that it's not that serious, or that you are stressing yourself out for no reason. This is a subtle pull away from the consistency and discipline that are required to build a meaningful life. You must quietly separate your mindset from theirs and let your results speak louder than their justifications. Surround yourself with those who take ownership of their failures, not those who explain them away. The seventh person to eliminate is the time waster. the individual who treats your most precious resource as if it were unlimited. Time is the only thing in this universe that you can never earn back, replace, or recover once it has been spent. The time waster may not have bad intentions, and they might even be very entertaining to spend an afternoon with. However, when you are around them, hours disappear into a void of scrolling, pointless debates, and repetitive gossip. They pull you into routines that look harmless but actually prevent you from executing your highest priorities. Standing still for too long in life is functionally the same as falling behind. The time waster doesn't pressure you to stop. They simply redirect your focus until your dreams remain just ideas. Your future is built entirely on how you spend your present, and the cost of distraction is the life you could have lived. You do not need to be dramatic or aggressive when distancing yourself from a time waster. Simply become intentional with your schedule and stop being available by default for unproductive moments. Protect your hours with the same ferocity that you would protect your physical property from a thief. The eighth shadow is the one who does not respect your growth. The individual who feels threatened by your evolution. Growth should feel empowering, like stepping into a sharper and more disciplined version of your true self. But this person makes your progress feel like a burden or an act of betrayal against the group. They undermine your new habits by laughing them off or calling you too serious or obsessed. This friction is a clear indicator that the version of you they preferred is dying, and they are not ready to let it go. They mock your consistency because it highlights their own inconsistency, and they minimize your progress to feel better about themselves. Staying in an environment where your evolution is dismissed will cost you your confidence and your momentum. You cannot fully become the person you are meant to be if you are constantly questioned by those you once aligned with. Do not argue with them or try to justify your vision, as people only respect the growth they are willing to recognize. Move with a quiet confidence and surround yourself with those who view massive growth as a normal part of existence. Apologize to no one for the discipline it takes to build a better version of yourself. The ninth person is the drama magnet, the individual who carries a storm of chaos wherever they go. Some people bring peace when they enter a room, while others bring attention. But the drama magnet brings conflict. Arguments follow them, misunderstandings orbit them, and neutral situations are quickly escalated into full-blown crises. At first, their life might seem intense and emotional, which can keep you alert and engaged in an artificial way. But over time, you realize that drama is a distraction that hijacks your nervous system and drains your energy. Drama is contagious, and when you are around someone in constant conflict mode, you begin to operate there as well. You find yourself mediating their disputes, taking sides, and preparing for the next inevitable problem. Suddenly, your peace of mind is no longer your own, and you are spending more time solving their problems than building your future. Success requires stability and consistent action, both of which are destroyed by the turbulence of a drama magnet. You must step back, stop reacting to their urgency, and choose calm over their manufactured chaos. If they accuse you of not caring because you refuse to engage in their latest fight, accept that as a small price for your peace. The 10th, and perhaps most difficult person to eliminate, is the one you have simply outgrown. This ending is rarely loud or dramatic, and it doesn't mean that there was a betrayal or a fight. It simply means that you have evolved in a direction that is no longer aligned with the relationship. Growth changes your frequency. Your standards rise, and your priorities transform into something the other person cannot relate to. They still see you as the old version of yourself, the one who tolerated different behaviors and had different ambitions. This mismatch creates a heavy tension that makes the connection feel like a duty rather than a choice. Holding on to someone purely because of shared history is a weight that can hold you back from your ultimate potential. Some people are meant for a specific season of your life to teach you lessons or support you through a phase, but they are not meant for the lifetime. Progression often requires distance, and you must have the maturity to wish someone well from a far-off place. You don't need a long, emotional conversation to explain why you are moving on. Silence is often the most respectful way to allow both parties to grow separately without the resentment of forced closeness. Accept that you have changed, and realize that becoming a different version of yourself is not a betrayal. It is a necessity. The art of being human in a world of noise is the capacity to maintain your internal peace. Marcus Aurelius taught that the mind is a private kingdom where you hold absolute sovereignty. If you allow toxic people to dictate your moods, you have abdicated your throne. To protect your destiny, you must build an inner citadel that is impenetrable to the opinions and distractions of others. The year 2025 is the era of the sovereign individual who values clarity above all else. Success is not just what you earn. It is also what you refuse to tolerate. Consider your social environment as a garden that requires constant weeding to thrive. Every unaddressed weed will eventually choke the life out of your most precious intentions. It is your moral responsibility to yourself to prune the connections that no longer offer nourishment. Do not feel guilty for prioritizing your survival and your expansion over someone else's comfort. True maturity is recognizing that you cannot save people who are committed to their own destruction. You must lead by example. And sometimes that means leaving the crowd behind. The final truth you must internalize is that closure is a myth created by those who fear moving on. You do not need the other person to understand why you are walking away. You do not need them to agree with your assessment of the relationship or to apologize for their behavior. Your silence is the closure you seek, and your progress is the only validation you need. Start showing up for yourself with the same consistency you once showed up for those who let you down. Reclaim your focus, guard your energy, and move into your future with the quiet authority of someone who knows their worth. In the year 2008, a group of researchers discovered that social rejection activates the same regions of the brain as physical pain. This is why it is so difficult to step away from people who are familiar but harmful. Your biological hardware is trying to protect you from the perceived danger of isolation, but you must use your higher logic to override these ancient impulses and realize that toxic proximity is far more dangerous than solitude. The modern world is designed to keep you in a state of reactive compliance. To be free, you must be willing to be misunderstood and even disliked by those you have outgrown. As you navigate this process of quiet elimination, you will find that your reality becomes more refined and meaningful. You will stop waking up with that quiet hum of anxiety in your chest because you are no longer playing defense. Your focus will sharpen, your energy will return, and your path will become clear. You are the architect of your social universe, and every person in it must earn their right to be there. Stental. Embrace the silence, and never apologize for the strength it takes to protect your peace. The summit is waiting for the lighter version of you. In the final moments of this broadcast, I challenge you to look at your current life through a cold, clinical lens. Identify the one person who is most responsible for your emotional exhaustion and start creating distance today. Do not wait for a reason or a special occasion to begin your journey towards sovereignty. Every second you spend explaining yourself to the unworthy is a second you are stealing from your legacy. The clock is relentlessly ticking, and the version of you that achieves greatness has no time for critics or manipulators. Conquer your internal world, and the external world will follow your command. Stay grounded in your discipline and stay silent in your execution. Guard your inner citadel with the vigilance of a king who knows that the enemy is often disguised as a friend. The world, 2025, belongs to those who have mastered the art of selective distance. I will see you in the next chapter of your transformation, where your focus is absolute and your peace is unshakable. Prove that you are part of the minority who can handle the truth without flinching. Leave the noise to the masses and own the quiet power of your own evolution. This concludes the masterclass on the architecture of quiet elimination. May your path be defined by the strength of your standards and the clarity of your vision. Remember that your life is a sacred space, and you are the only one with the power to decide who gets to occupy it. Step into your authority. Refuse to negotiate with mediocrity, and walk away from everything that no longer serves your soul. Your empire begins with the very next person you decide to stop entertaining. Live with purpose, move with grace, and remain forever untouchable in your pursuit of excellence. Your transformation is now complete,